Hello and welcome, everybody. This is Chart Request Live. We do this show every Tuesday and Thursday right here on Stock Market TV. I'm joined, as always, by Patrick Dunawilla of the Chart Report. Hey, Pat.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Starting the week off hot.
I see you got your favorite stock up right now.
I do like this one.
You want to
But
talk about the home builders?
no, I mean, look, risk on groups and offensive stocks continue to work, right? I continue to think small caps. Let's do the Russell 2000. Small caps above 2000 continues to be just a major line in the sand, right? Still kind of chopping here, but I think as long as this reversal pattern appears to be a valid one, which I think it does, above 2000, I think that's it. Already on. Risk
Yeah,
assets, in general. Don't even get me started on crypto. I think we just jump right into it.
yeah. You want to let's kick it off. Yeah.
Please.
VNOM.
Venom
Venom to start. Viper Energy.
Viper.
Energy getting quite a lot of love these last couple weeks.
This is a mid-streamer, MLP.
Looks like it.
Nice chart. Um, Good looking consolidation here. This would be, in my opinion, just at, first glance, this would be a leader in energy simply because it has resolved this multi-year consolidation higher. Right, this is the same pattern that XLE is trying to complete right now. This drawn from last time, just this major range, right? So something like Viper making new highs last month. Not far from it right here today.
Right.
Week leadership. So long against the 2022 highs. Fib gets us to about, just north of 43.
I like it.
And this integrated oil,
We have a dividend yield there. What does
mid
that look
cap,
like?
4.6%.
I
Yeah,
like it. I don't think it's too much more complicated than that, right? 36 gets you 43, right?
natural gas. Yeah, I like this. Look, energy is a place that we want to be adding exposure to right now, for sure.
Let's move on to Powell Industries.
Jerome Powell Industries.
Jerome Powell Industries. No relation that we know of.
Yeah, this one's been a monster. Mm,
Wow. 10-year base.
yeah. Okay, so the base is in, couple targets already hit. Really, nice structural bullish pattern here. Let's drill in. Where can we get long? That's the hardest part with some stocks that, are trending so well like this. Don't love this action just over, just this month.
And right at a key fib too, right? And it looks like that former support is acting like resistance now. You see how it kind of yesterday kind of wicked into it and then
Yeah.
couldn't do it.
Look, 137 and a half. If that goes, you got to look out for this potential gap fill down here. Right?
Yeah.
That's a long way off. So this one's extended. I think you can only own it above those pivot lows right now. There's just too much space here. 40% of potential downside back to fill
Yeah.
just from, this quarter's earnings report. Um, and then for getting long, I think, say it does dig in and reverse here. That is the higher likelihood, right? Say it does. VWAP gives you confirmation. The VWAP from those all-time highs, 156.
Yeah, and to give you a little more context, he says, popping up on my scans, curious what you think for the next 6 months to a year. It's been a monster, but I'm worried about a pullback, he says.
So it already did pull back. I don't know what scan he's running, but this would pop up on any of those, primary uptrend, long-term momentum, short-term pullback scans, which are very popular and I think great scans. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, absolutely.
So basically you're scanning for stocks that have you know, um, a top.
Strong primary uptrend,
Yeah,
right?
so a top percentile long-term rate of change to the upside, and then the top percentile short-term rate of change to the downside, right? So you're looking for pullbacks or corrections within broader uptrends. So this one's off 30% already. So I would
Wow.
keep
Doesn't look like 30%, right?
happens fast. Yeah, so I would
Yeah,
keep it tight. 136, 137, those pivot lows.
I like it. Let's move on to Airbnb.
I like this one. This chart looks great.
Right near the highs.
Look at momentum. So this is just the daily RSI 14 traditional momentum indicator. We're not really below 50, just barely. Two occasions here in January, since November. That's
Wow.
that is some, super solid momentum. In terms of the broader primary trend, reversals in here, wherever you want to draw this, right? A cluster of peaks over here. So you could see the long-term moving average, that's the 200-day, flattening, curling higher beneath price. Draw a little arc here, show the rounding bottom. Bigger point is the reversals in. Now, where do we get long, right? So this one, I think, if your time frame's long enough, you play it back to these old highs. There's plenty there. It's good RSI out here. Play it back to
Give
these
you
old
a,
highs.
give you a little spoiler alert here. If you draw a fib from the high to the low, we're right at the 61.8 now.
Boom. So then, something like this where you're just more or less looking for a logical level to get long. Any sort of retracement will get you done. Pat's talking about the 61. Perfect. There you go. 167. Also the pivot highs from earlier this month. I like that. Keep it real tight here. And then I think you have upside. You can let this one run a little bit back to those old all-time highs.
I like it. Super easy.
Great.
Um,
Yeah,
Go ahead. No.
I like it a lot.
So this one also comes from Alex NU.
Yeah.
New
Tough one
scan.
to get into over the short term. This
Wow, beautiful though.
this
No, I'm
is
sorry, NU. NU.
breakaway gap of this cycle, maybe.
I don't know if you heard me. I said NU. N is in Nancy.
Oh, I'm just
But also a great
so
one.
giddy over
No,
this technical breakout in Micron. I'm hearing
listen, I'm with you. I'm with you there. It's a beautiful, beautiful chart.
this, and this one's just as good. So this is
Yeah, I
new.
was gonna say this one's not bad either.
Yeah, so new bank or whatever. People like trading this one. This is a hot stock. Hot stock.
It's a hot one.
Hot stock. Boom. Look, really clean breakout here. So this one is definitely, oops, sorry. This one is definitely for all the technical traders out there.
Oh yeah. It
Dudes off.
reminds me of that one you had last week. What was it? Wrote it down.
Oh, you jotted it down. You liked it so much.
What's that? Yeah, no. But I already forgotten it. What was it? What was it? You know what I'm talking
I
about.
don't,
We
I
just
don't remember. Is
we
it one that
just
I
talked
brought
about it on
along?
Spaces.
Dreamfinder Homes?
Yes. Yep.
It
DFH.
does look like that. It
Yeah.
does.
Like
Recent,
kind of that IPO base.
recent
Those
IPO
setups
base.
can be
Yeah.
explosive.
So look, new is simple. 11, 12. It's a range here, right? These two highs from late 21, early 22 came out just as the market was peaking, right? Literally IPO the worst time
Yeah.
ever. But what
But
was it?
now we're getting a chance to see which one of those IPO, of that IPO class, which ones are for real and which ones are just bogus.
Yes, you're right. Relative strength is the tell. So 11 or 12 above there, target 17. That's nice. What, like 60%? What's next?
Yeah. Sounds about right. But both very nice there. And I like your MU one. We can look at that at the end if you want. Let's do Limback Holdings from Annabelle, LMB, small cap.
Limbach. What is a Limbach?
What is a Limbach? Miscellaneous.
This is
Cages
a
in the
little bit small, Pat.
yeah. Yeah, it's under a billion. Let's move on. Um, RVMD. Baker Bros.
RevMed,
Buy a break above 30, they said. And what would your target be? Baker
another mid
Bros
cap.
increased its holding 91% according to NASDAQ filing.
It's another mid cap. What was the level that he gave?
35?
Yep, that's exactly right. 35 is the breakout level.
Very well defined level there.
Yeah, 35 for sure. You want to play this one back to the highs. It's a biotech. It's not going to take too long.
Yeah, that could happen in one day.
56, 55, 56. 20 points of upside from there. I mean, you just fib it out. I don't know what the time frame is, but Baker Bros, they don't trade things. So if Baker Bros is establishing or growing a position, um, they're planning to hold it for years, not months. So 161.8, about 82 and a quarter. And let's just check out the holdings for
Definitely
Baker.
looks like it's building a base there.
So RevMed RVMD Baker Bros has about 150 million in market cap, 1.7% of their portfolio, so not too much, and it represents
It's a
3%.
$5 billion stock, so
Yeah, it's only 3% of outstanding shares, so they could grow it. Trying to see,
what are you looking at?
just checking the holdings. So they've owned it since 2021 too. All right. Yeah, and they did just increase it by 91% apparently. 2.4 million shares they just increased their position by. That's interesting. They just about doubled it. They own over 5 million shares right now, and they just increased by about 2.5 million. So maybe they're building a position. Pat, do you think Baker Bros have like a CMT or a technician on staff, and
I
they're
wouldn't
trying
be
to
surprised. I would not be
jump
surprised.
jump
You
this
said
little
you
base
said
breakout?
they mostly dabble in biotech, right?
They only dabble in biotech. They're the best on the street when it comes to, just investing in these biotech startups, healthcare, life sciences. That's what they do.
All
We follow them
right.
very closely on the hot corner. What's next?
So we got two more from the mailbag, and then I promise, guys, we'll get to the chat here in just a second. This one's kind of crazy, and it's coming from Wavy. Uh, MSTR short.
Didn't we talk about that last week?
We did, but you want to take a look at it real quick? Just
Yeah, it's not. You didn't. I mean, you
it's
didn't get
for
stopped.
Wavy. We have to.
I know, but wait, you didn't get stopped out of this yet? Then where's your stop? I don't know. It's making new all-time highs here today, just about. So no, I don't think this is a good idea. With Bitcoin potentially breaking back out above 70. Remember, this is just a leveraged long vehicle on spot Bitcoin prices. This is Bitcoin. This is
Yeah.
I
And you
mean,
know what, Steve? Like on Friday, chart of the day was this head and shoulders top that was forming in Bitcoin, a short-term one.
uh-huh.
And we
Failed.
noted in there, what's the most bullish pattern is when those head and shoulders fail. And it sure looks like that head and shoulders is failing right now. So you could get a pretty sharp move higher from crypto here.
Look, we're moving the market, Wavy. Be careful. It just flipped green.
Oh boy, it flipped positive.
No, but back to red. I don't think you want to be long, or you really can't be long above just the highs from 2 weeks ago. What is it? 1790? Can't. This thing's making new all-time highs. Sure, maybe get short on a fail here, right, Pat? Like
Yeah, yeah.
something like this. This fails and breaks lower. Sure, go for it. But this is breaking out to new all-time highs right now. I think this is a hero trade. It's also a dangerous trade. It's not that it can't work. If this works and this rolls over here and Bitcoin fails at the prior cycle highs, you can catch some quick downside and could be a great trade. But this is a hero trade. You're
Yeah,
asking for trouble. So definitely not for me. This is one that would fall into the trend fighter category. We try to be trend followers.
I like it. Well said, Steve. Let's move on to ICLR. That's the last one from the mailbag, and then we can get to the chat. Okay, thanks. My long this week was GGAL. You want to take a look at that one?
What's going on? Let me finish ICLR. What do you mean? What's
Okay.
yeah?
Yeah.
We've talked about GGAL recently too. That's that bank, isn't it? ICLR looks great. This is a consolidation, multi-year consolidation pattern, breakout into a sweet pennant here, right? High and tight. Where does the primary Fibonacci extension get us? Right around 400. Ooh, love me a good round number. At this point, I would rather buy an upside resolution from this flag than, say, a failure and a retest of the prior highs here. So you can do this in a number of ways. You can get confirmation of this little short-term pattern breaking higher above the highs here, so 344. Or what I like to do, get in earlier, get better entries, is just use the anchored VWAP. We're just about there. You could also use the upper bounds, the trend line. So 335, 340.
I like it. And I like it because you have the base, so that's kind of a longer term pattern, and then you have that shorter term consolidation there. So
It's
kind of working in multiple
it's
time frames.
it's the alignment of time frames. Absolutely right. You have one bullish pattern over a longer time frame morph into another bullish pattern that's more tactical. And what that does is it gives you another chance to enter if you miss the broader pattern.
Yeah. So I got another good one for you here from the chat. This one comes from Kevin, Jacobs Solutions. That's just ticker J.
Yep. Slow and steady. This is a good one. Is this engineering?
I think it is
The
construction.
processing.
Data processing. Yeah. Whoa.
Interesting. I think 18 billion market cap. But this one's just been a really good name for as long as I can remember. So strong uptrend off the pandemic lows into this pattern that we've seen, so many names and indexes. Nice little consolidation here. We are just about resolving higher now. I'd like to see some more momentum on this kind of a breakout. Yeah. So don't love the momentum. See, when you look at charts for long enough, knew there'd be a nasty divergence here. Right, Pat? Pat, you're on mute, man. Talking to myself over here.
My bad. No, yeah, you're right. It's you can almost tell, right?
So momentum has been tailing off here for about 2 months as this just slowly grinds through these old highs. I don't, we like to say like we want to see a decisive resolution or like an authoritative move above the prior cycle highs. Like this is the opposite of that. Not even able to get overbought on the move to new all-time highs. This kind of to me, big failure risk. So only long above 150, real tight. And really, you want to see some sort of confirmation here, an overbought momentum reading, just a nice big green candle, right? Some sort of big reading
Decisive.
on the rate of change. Maybe new highs on a relative basis, which this one doesn't look like it's going to have either.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
looks kind of lazy on a relative basis.
lackluster. It's a lackluster.
Lackluster. Yeah, there you go.
What's next?
Let's move on to one of your favorites, CLSK.
This chart's so good. Way too good.
Daniel's
Uh,
asking about it. He must follow your work.
Momentum so strong. I like to look at this on a line. So textbook, so clean. You could draw this. You could draw some different levels here, right? Point is the reversal's in. And the part that I liked about this chart and why I got long last week is the coil. I would love to talk about that in spaces today. Um, these are the best patterns right now. Bull flags, bull pennants, just the high and tight, short-term continuation patterns in the context of something that's already in a primary uptrend. These are the best patterns. As we get to the middle, later stages of the bull market, if you want to be buying the leaders, the reversal patterns happened a long time ago, right? The bull flags and the short-term continuations and these coils, they'll keep popping up within the context of a broader primary uptrend, right? Giving you more and more opportunities to get in and trade them. A couple things you have to remember is the resolutions and the reaction moves tend to be come with more momentum, and the time frame for these trades tends to be shorter, right? Than say a reversal pattern, rounding bottom, some of these bases, some of these rectangles, even triangle patterns, which I know you love. I think
Yeah,
of them as more like intermediate term, right? But the bull flag, the pennant, these are really short term tactical patterns.
absolutely. Yeah.
So this one's kind of already making its move out of here, right? You got the reversal is in, primary trend is higher. You could see that was the case since really last year. Breaking out of this short-term coil now, you could measure it, right? So like, how do we come up with a pattern on something like this? I think you could use momentum and a trailing stop, particularly when things work. But the flagpole is 200%, right? So if you were to measure it out, whether it's $14 or 200%, where does that get us? Another 14 bucks gets you to 35.
I like it. Yeah, I like using the absolute number if I'm using the measured move there.
Me too.
But I
Either
got
work.
another one for you. You're talking about these short-term consolidation patterns. So let's take a look at ARM and tell me if you think that this is a bull flag or if it kind of fits with what you're talking about.
It's a bull flag for sure. It's a bull flag.
Quite the flagpole, huh?
What a monster. So just really good.
And if you look real closely at it, you can see multiple of these consolidations. Yeah, you're drawing one right now, and even to the left of that one, you have
Yep,
one.
right here.
Yep.
So breakaway gap, like awesome, epic breakaway gap.
Yeah.
What was that day? 47%, followed by another 30% the next or 2 days after. Into, this bull flag is taking, yeah, less than 2 months, right? So still very much in the bull flag camp here. I'll draw right through this little blow off spindle.
Yeah.
And that's it. Another one where I would definitely have a VWAP on this chart if I was
I
looking.
was gonna say, where's that?
Comes in
Okay.
right there. So this one you could use today's high, really.
For the break,
145,
I
right?
think that's good. Yeah.
Right? Something
First of
like
all, though, would you even be interested in this name right
yeah.
now?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was I hey, it's a semiconductor. I'm never not interested. I was looking at something like this today. Um,
I was thinking AMD really hasn't been that great, but it hit its target. I mean, you look at it reached its Fibonacci target, so it's kind of like, what else
listen,
can't ask too much from it.
AMD's been good. They've all been good. You can just pull up any of the components of any of these semiconductor ETFs. There's a handful of them.
We
Flip
can we
through
can
them.
look at MU now if you want.
You always find something. This is gonna be the last one. Micron. You had the earnings gap here, right? Monster move, 14%. Now, why is that awesome? Textbook breakaway gap, right, Pat?
Oh yeah.
So prior cycle highs from 2021, early 2022 come in just south of 100 key psychological level, so like right around $98. We false started, the week or two before earnings, cut back below that level, ran right back up to the breakout level from below, just ahead of earnings, and blast right through. And look, you got like one little pullback the next day, but we've been green every day since. So this action just super encouraging. This is a breakaway gap or a power.
Real quick, could you explain what a breakaway gap is for the people who don't know and why we love them so much?
It's a gap above or below a key polarity zone. Right? This is a
Yep.
polarity level, resistance, former highs, right? The gap happened right at that level. There's a reason, why we tend to see that. It's not uncommon either, right? You would think these kinds of gaps would be a lot less common because they're happening at these unique areas on the price chart. They're not. We see them a lot, particularly on earnings, right?
Yeah, it's almost like buyers and sellers are at kind of a stalemate, and then all of a sudden buyers win, and it just like, okay, we're going in this direction, and it just goes.
And the earnings report and reaction is often the catalyst for that final resolution between the buyers and the sellers at these key levels. So anyway, at this point, I think, and I could zoom out more and show why this level's super important from price memory from, more than a decade ago. But at this point, you're stuck between this range, 129 and back towards 100. Um, and it's kind of no man's land. So I'm not trading here. I wouldn't be trading it here. If you're already long, I think you stay long. Definitely don't get short. But in terms of where do you define your risk, we don't have any price memory here to help us.
Yeah, the good folks in the chat here are talking about how Bitcoin and MU, you overlay the two. I think Caleb had a chart on that recently, but
Yeah,
I mean, it
Bitcoin,
makes sense, right? Kind of both.
Bitcoin's just another tech stock. Yeah.
Right. What do you think? You got a couple more in you or no?
I can't. I'm doing a podcast.
All right, we gotta leave it here, but we're gonna be back on Thursday. I'll be on the charts this time, so we'll be sure to get to some of these. And you can always email us at questions@stockmarketmedia.com. Give us your requests so we can give priority to those. Steve, you want to sign us out?
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining. Join us on Thursday at 1 o'clock. Pat will be the chart ninja. And in the meantime, morning show every morning right here on Stock Market TV at 8:30 o'clock Eastern time. All right.
Chart
Later.
Ninja, I like that. Thanks, guys.